Lieutenant Hickox, at this point in time, I'd like to brief you on Operation Keen Air.
Hey everyone, this is Pat, and welcome back to Kino Rants. Quentin Tarantino is one of the greatest contemporary artists we have at the moment. There are a million videos on the internet analyzing the details of the Tarantino style, talking about his cinematic vocabulary, his particular use of dialogue, or his deliberate and sometimes anachronistic use of soundtrack. And if I wanted to bore you, I'd just make another one of those videos. But that's not what I want to do today. We all know what he does.
Larry, stop pointing that fucking gun at my dad!
What I want to do is go a step farther and ask the question. What is it about the details of his work that elevate him above all others? To approach that, let's consider two opposing ideas: auteur theory and genre theory. Auteur theory, first coined in the French magazine Cahiers de Cinéma, dictates that the film is a work of art and, like a novel or a painting, is a product of the director's imagination and vision. Every element of the film, the production design, the music, every frame and composition, is authored by the director's artistic decisions. And so, according to auteur theory, we'll get the Truffaut film, or the Godard film, the Kubrick film, the Nolan film, or in our case, the Tarantino film. The film is the director's calling card. On the other side of the spectrum, we have genre theory, which states that multiple elements go into creating a film, the director's vision just being one of these elements. And according to the different genres, we have different expectations. Genre films are routine, systematic, and internally consistent film productions with rigid expectations and conventions. When I say Western, we all see images of vast American landscapes with lone heroes subduing the quote-unquote savage indigenous populations. People generally put auteur theory and genre theory at odds with each other, and it begs the question, is the whole film a centralized product of the director's overall vision? Or is the film a product of the expected conventions of any given genre, influencing the director's vision itself? Ever since the invention of the moving image, the art of cinema has been a constantly evolving process producing new cinematic techniques, from the discovery of the crane shot, to panning and tilting, the free movement of the camera, the cut, the montage, the political movements, and the creation of new genres. Filmmaking has been an ongoing process intertwined with the unfolding of human history. However, is there anything else left to discover? Obviously, cinema will still evolve as we approach the end of the blockbuster era, as we develop newer technologies, but that's a story for another video. Instead of pioneering new technique, we're basically at a point where one of the only forms of innovation left is to paste old genres and cinematic concepts together. Tarantino perfectly exemplifies this era. Take his usage of the spaghetti western in Django Unchained, for example. Although some critics against Tarantino have argued that his portrayal of racism through the lens of this genre trivializes American slavery. And while yes, traditionally the Western genre is quite racist in a variety of ways, that being said, Django Unchained goes into a greater detail than most other films about the systematic suffering produced by the slave trade. And that's the whole point. Take The Fighting Ring, for example. Does Tarantino have a fetish with extreme violence, or is he trying to prove a point? He regularly returns to moments of physical anguish. Is it to obsessively revel in the grotesque amounts of blood, or is he trying to make a case, to paint an image about the racial injustices of American history? Tarantino maintains the latter of the two is true. However, no matter how gratuitous, the physical violence is underlined by the more tragic and subversive points about the emotional and moral damages caused by the slave trade.
You want me to play a black slaver? Ain't nothing lower than a black slave.
Django Unchained's controversy aside, what's important is that Django takes an old genre with racist roots and turns it against itself. Traditionally, the Western genre glorifies the act of violently bringing civilization to the New World. Django responds with, yeah, here's your civilization. Tarantino has created a genre mishmash that turns a convention on its head. For example, a heist film without a robbery, a Western revenge film set in Nazi-occupied France, a whodunit murder mystery set after the American Civil War. Tarantino started his career as a rental house clerk, and it's showing. So why is Tarantino's artistry almost unmatched? All art is built on the shoulders of its predecessors. In the case of film, it all started with this. By this logic, all works of art are, even if only to some limited capacity, derivative. And so how derivative is the director's work? Whatever you are watching has had its inspirations or influences from earlier pieces. Some directors are invisible from where they've developed their styles, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, Tarantino keeps no secrets. We can draw clear lines between his work and the work that precedes him.
Prove it.
While there are directors out there such as Wes Anderson and Denis Villeneuve, who have both developed their own voices and discernible styles, Anderson's work screams Anderson, and if you've seen Villeneuve's other work, you'll realize just how much Arrival screams Villeneuve as well. But as with all filmmakers, even Anderson's unmistakably unique style didn't just manifest out of thin air. He's been influenced by films such as The 400 Blows, Barry Lyndon, and Harold and Maude, to name a few. What sets Tarantino apart is his acknowledgement and growth from his inspirations. And there are other films out there that go about paying homage, but unlike Tarantino, they do so incorrectly. Or instead they do it to rely on genre expectations, to cash in on a cheap emotional payoff. For example, we all knew what was coming at this point in Jurassic World. Or just take a look at any other big studio reboot, remake, sequel, prequel, trilogy, anthology. Nerdwriter talks about this concept to great lengths in his intertextuality video, where he talks about a weaponized intertextuality. That is, the audience's immediate recognition of certain symbols, as the studios take advantage of something extremely recognizable to make a quick and easy buck. Tarantino develops a sort of weaponized intertextuality, but in a different way. Rather than trying to be invisible with it, to try to cash in, he takes advantage of it. Tarantino goes beyond making simple references or throwbacks. He electrifies them and gives them new meanings. Tarantino's act of consciously and noticeably subverting his predecessors is what elevates him as an artist. And honestly, who else can literally rewrite history and get away with it? So, auteur or genre filmmaker? Where does Tarantino think he fits into all of this? I think every movie is a genre movie. A John Cassavetes movie is a John Cassavetes movie. Eric Rohmer movies are their own genre, but I also like the idea of subgenre. Reservoir Dogs is a crime film, it's a gangster film, but more important, it's a heist film, even though you don't really see the heist. In typical Tarantino fashion, he's gone ahead and smashed these opposing concepts together into something different. Not only do filmmakers take inspiration from external sources, but they cannibalize their own styles, developing from that. The evolution of Tarantino's style can be traced all the way back through his filmmaking career.
I love you, Pumpkin.
I love you, honey bunny.
In our postmodern remix society, Tarantino is a movie DJ, similar to how music DJs are basically modern-day curators, taking us on different musical experiences, smashing different songs together to create something new. Tarantino is taking movie conventions and genres, with which everyone is familiar with, even if only on a subconscious level, and remixing it to give new meanings. Tarantino is intertextuality done right.
Marvin, what do you make of all this?
Man, I don't even have an opinion.
Well, you gotta have an opinion.
Thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. A simple share goes a long way for us too.
Oh man, I shot Marvin in the face.
Help us grow this channel because we absolutely love making these videos and we want to keep doing it. Our next upload is in 2 weeks, so until then, thanks for watching.
Hey, look, man, I didn't mean to shoot the son